Welcome back to the Kings of Houston. There's lots of soccer to unravel today, and with me to discuss this as ever is the King himself, Steve Firth. How are you doing, Steve?
Good, so how are you?
It's good to hear, and I'm doing pretty well. We've got a lot to talk about again this week, and we're going to start off with our ladies and give them a shout out. They had a 3-0 victory over the Houston Aces last week, which they backed up with a 2-0 road victory at San Antonio Surf. Two real statement victories, aren't they?
Yeah, great start for the women. 3 wins in a row, no goals conceded. Looked good on against the Houston Aces. They started really well, really positively. We were on the front foot, controlled the game, had a lot of opportunities. So we're 3-0 up at halftime. Didn't score in the second half, but really kind of controlled that and looked dominant. And then away, wasn't there away, and there was a issue with the stream, so we didn't get to see much of the game away at SA Surf. But I hear again that the ladies on their first travel day did a good job, went out there in on a field that wasn't the best, but got the job done, and that's the important thing. You got to go and you got to win games and score goals. So that was great to see. So yeah, great start for the women. They look very strong. They look great in training. Lots of talented players. Some players coming back into that pool, and some of our younger players getting opportunities in that team from our youth level that are stepping up and playing. So that's great. It's been a really good start.
Yeah, it seems like the coaching staff have got like a good recipe for success on the field. And like I said, the defence has kept consecutive shutouts this season, which builds solid foundations for the team, doesn't it?
It certainly does, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't concede a goal, you can't lose. It's always a good start. And obviously, when you've got the likes of the forwards and the midfielders that we have on that group, then the opportunity to score goals is always going to be there. So if you can be solid at the back and you can do a great job, and at the same time you're always going to create chances at the other end by playing attacking forward front foot soccer, then it's going to look good, and it has so far. So it's a great start, and they've got to keep it going now.
Yeah, and moving forward, we've seen Grocio come on the score sheet a few times, and Avery Barron netted a brace the other day as well. Big players are putting in big performances, and that's important at this to start the season off well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why those guys are there. These guys are player of the year in some of their collegiate divisions. High level of goal scoring ability from some of them where they play and assist, and so it's just transitioning over to this team, which is exactly why they're in the team, and they're doing a great job. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and they face the Surf again this weekend at Campbell Road Sports Park at 7 p.m. So do you reckon it'll just be a case of forcing the game plan back onto Surf, or do you reckon they'll try and change up? Because we had this with the men earlier on in the season, playing the same team twice in a few.
Yeah. No, I think there's a little bit more time, with the women, where I think the men have like a 40-hour turnaround, and obviously the women have got like a week. So I think they've got a little bit more time to kind of relax and go and do some training and recover, and getting knocks and bruises out of whatever they've got, and get that sorted out. So they should be at full strength come Saturday. And I think that the game plan will be, attack. There's no reason. They've already gone away and won 2-0 and controlled the game. They kind of know what to expect from the other team now. And I'm sure they'll put their front foot forward and try and go and press a little bit higher and try and score some goals. So be a great game to go out and watch. So hopefully Saturday, fingers crossed, we can get some good weather, and we can get everybody out there to go watch the women, cheer them on to another victory. You there, Sam?
Yeah, I'm here, Steve. Yeah, I think it could have been just a little bit. But
Yeah.
if we didn't catch that, basically get yourselves down to Campbell Road Sports Park at 7 p.m. on Saturday night and cheer the girls on. And fingers crossed for some sunny weather. And changing from sunny weather to pretty miserable weather, we're going to move on to our USL2 team, where the men just can't seem to play a game in the sunshine, to be honest. They had their table-topping clash, very important game against Mississippi Brilla. And like we said, it was a bit wet and windy, and the guys tied the game 2-2. And I believe it was a delayed start. So the guys must be a bit disappointed as well, having gone into half-time 1-0 up against them.
Yeah, it does seem like every game seems to be rain and getting worse, to be honest with you. It started off with a little bit of rain in the first game, and now we're in deluge mode and lightning. So yeah, it was about a 40-minute delay to the game. It was an important game. Obviously the men want to keep their unbeaten streak alive. So I think it's up to 12 games now between this season and last season where they haven't, or the season before when they played where they haven't lost. And yeah, got off to a good start against a very good team. Bria were out of the blocks real quick and could have had 2 or 3 goals, and we defended pretty well at times to stop that. Some good saves. They missed a couple of chances, and then we go and grab a goal before halftime, makes it interesting, and go and grab one after halftime. And when you're 2-0 up, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You want to make sure you win that game. So to concede 2 goals, I think it was like the 70th minute, and then an 88th or an 87th minute one that tied it. Was disappointing. I think if you'd have watched the first 10 minutes, Sam, you'd have taken the draw. So it's not a bad result. Miss Pure exceptional. Got some very good players, but still, when you lead 2-0 and you're on your home turf, and you're in the weather that we've been playing in constantly, we're kind of used to it. We want to take advantage of that. So yeah, a little bit of a disappointment, but at the same time, it was a good team that we played. Who were top of the league, and it was a good result.
Yeah, like you say, you want to take the 3 points, and a bit of a sucker punch letting a couple of late goals in. But like Coach Josh Gardner said, that Bria like a very strong, aggressive, great team really, with a lot of experienced players. So it'd be good for some of our younger players to have played against that caliber of team and not come away with a defeat and at least get the draw.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now it's a mentality thing. I think this whole streak of not losing a game is, I think everybody fights for that. I think sometimes when you go into games and maybe you're a goal down or 2 goals down, I think that, sometimes teams kind of give up on it a little bit. And when you've got something like that to fight for, a streak, it kind of keeps you going. So, hopefully, they've got a game tonight, which we'll talk about, and some more games coming next week at home. And we want to try and keep that moving forward now. So we're in a good position, second in the table. And, it's about putting 3 points on the board every week now and keeping ourselves in there.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to move straight onto it because this is a crucial week of soccer for the USL team. It's rivalry day for our men, and they're on the road against Houston FC. Huge game to mark our territory as a club in the city. We really need to try and continue that unbeaten run and try and push Mississippi Bria right to the brink, to the top of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think the thing with the Houston games, that whether we believe that we're a little bit stronger or not, they're always close. As rivalries and derbies normally are. So it's always a little bit of an added emphasis to the game. So it'll be interesting to see tonight how the guys do. They've trained well. They're looking sharp, and we've learned a little bit from the last few weeks of training and games that hopefully we can adapt and put into. So should be a good game tonight. It's down at HBU. If people are in town, they can make it down there. 7 o'clock kickoff again. We'd love to have some away support. So that'd be great. And yeah, I mean, it's a huge game for this week to keep moving forward and keep ourselves in the standings in the league.
Yeah, exactly. We want to show that, like, the Royals are the pride of Houston, and if we can get as many of you down as possible, cheer on the guys, that would be really good, especially as you miss some of the games this season due to the terrible weather. And another road trip follows this Saturday against Brazos Valley Cavalry, if I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, I think it's Friday. But yeah, BBC up in College Station there. And they've had some mixed results. It's an interesting group. They've had a lot of changes this last year since they last played 2 years ago, with coaches, with players. So, we've seen them play a couple of times. And they're another good outfit with some good talented players in the team. They've scored some goals, and these games come thick and fast now. And so it's about, getting a game in, recovering, learning, and moving on, and trying to, go up there and do the same again. So yeah, that should be 2 away games. We've had quite a few home games in a row, and now it's time to take that on the road and go and get a couple of wins or some points away from home for sure before we come back next week.
Yeah, it's important to get as many points and win your home games, but I think this week is definitely going to be a season-defining week in terms of trying to distance themselves from the chasing pack below us, because we've got obviously a massive game coming up next week as well. They're coming thick and fast, so we really need to try and consolidate our place in the top 2, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you start winning these games and it just separates you from the bottom of the table, it makes it very difficult. If you're at the bottom, to push your way back up, and at the same time, if you're at the top, you've got to keep getting that momentum and winning games and taking points off teams. So yeah, it's a huge week, and fingers crossed we can get a good start tonight. So
exactly. And for the home game for the women, what is the theme night coming up for this week?
We've got I believe it's a hot dog night, so we'll have some hot dogs out there, which will be great. And then we're also doing the food bank, so people can come in and bring their non-perishable goods and help us to push that towards the food banks and to a good needy cause. So that'll be what we've got going this week.